Hello, my name is Pooja and I bring to you the PROTECH helmet technology. I have two models for you here. This one is a model representing the shape of my helmet, plus there will be a visor here. This model represents the padding in my invention, and this is before my tweak. It has two layers of padding, this one using the spin technology, which I will get into later in the video, and this one's just using the regular foam used in most helmets, such as bike helmets, motorcycle helmets, and more. The problem I have is that not having helmets to wear in Ultimate Frisbee is dangerous and is a rule that needs to be added. I have decided on this because I once suffered a face injury while playing Ultimate Frisbee. I got a black eye and I suffered a bit during that since I was pretty young. And I started developing a sort of small fear of playing Ultimate Frisbee without a helmet because I didn't want to go through that pain again. So I think this can help a lot of other kids playing Ultimate Frisbee. The answer I have created is that I will invent a helmet that is light, effective, comfortable to wear, and cheap. It will be more convenient but just as protective as any other helmet. For my research, I have used sources such as these. A lot of these are upon motorcycle helmets, but upon research, I have decided that Ultimate Frisbee can be very similar because when I compare it, other helmets such as football helmets are pretty similar to motorcycle helmets as well in terms of shape and strategies used to make them. Some of the basic factors I learned when doing research is that black helmets are less wanted because of their greater UV absorption, which causes heat. So in the summer, which is when most people play their sports, a lot of people, get sweaty heads and they don't specifically enjoy having a black helmet. A carbon fiber helmet is a lot lighter than helmets with an outer shell made of thermoplastic resin, and thermoplastic resin is what most helmets are made out of. This is why I'll be making my helmet out of carbon fiber, because this is just as protective but lighter and easier to get than thermoplastic resin. Another thing I've taken away is that the more accessories means more weight added onto the helmet. Accessories can include visors, sunscreens, etc. That's why all I will actually have in my helmet is the padding and the visor. One of the important technologies I have in my model is this technology by Spin. This technology called Spin by POC. What this is instead of a plastic liner that moves independently of the helmet, Spin is a silicone injected into the foam pads inside the helmet that slips side to side. This slipping from side to side makes sure that the entire head is protected. Strickland, the producer of this technology, says that this is a super comfortable and well ventilated helmet. It also comes in highly visible colors that are great for commuters, but this doesn't really apply to our helmet. I'm just using their technology and changing it up a little because I'll be adding my own. I asked if he had any tips on how to make a better visor that won't fog up as easily, and then I settled on polycarbonate. Now, the reason I settled on polycarbonate plastic is because this is one of the most transparent plastics out there. It's very hard to break, meaning that if you do happen to fall face first, it will be safe. But if you're using, say, glass, it might be a bit dangerous because it could break. Polycarbonate is used for motorcycle helmets, bike helmets, football helmets, ice skating helmets, and more. It has a unique combination of properties such as high impact strength, shock absorption, and dimensional stability. To make my prototype, I used this styrofoam to make this part of my prototype. To make this part of my prototype, remember this is the before my tweak, I used air dry clay to make this red part and this white part, and I used just regular old foam padding as shown here to make this yellow part. To make the real thing, you would need carbon fiber, which would represent this red part. That would be the outer shell. You would need nylon fabric for the straps, you would need chin strap buckles, EPS foam, and silicone padding. Now, after doing my original test, which I will show you the clip for, I decided on also adding EPS foam as a third layer. Again, that clip will be up in a few seconds. Alright, so this is my testing before my tweak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an egg, and this will kind of represent the person's head. So if this cracks, I know I need to make changes to my helmet to make it more protective. I'm going to put this in a Ziploc bag just so that it doesn't make a mess everywhere when it cracks, or if it cracks. I'm going to close that up tightly. And what I'm going to do, off camera, is I'm going to put it in this helmet and use this tape to strap it up together. Again, in the real helmet, it would be using a buckle strap. Alright, so I have taped up the egg with the helmet. I made sure to only use one layer of tape so that the only protection the egg is actually receiving is from the helmet itself, and the tape wouldn't be as extra protection. So now this egg isn't gonna pop out of the helmet unless someone actually pulls its Ziploc bag out. Alright, here's test number 1. I'm gonna be dropping it on the ground with the helmet first. I am gonna be dropping them at a uniform height. 3, 2, 1. Now to open it. Alright, here's the egg. I'm gonna take the tape off. It doesn't look like there's any damage so far. Was wrong. There was a lot of damage. Upon taking the egg out, I see that there is a slight crack. Oops. Okay. So there is a crack, and the egg did break. As you can see, the yolk is leaking out slowly from that small crack. Since it was a pretty small crack, I think my tweak will be I'm going to be adding one extra layer of coating, and I'm going to test it again with the same egg. Or not the same egg, with the different egg. I opened up the clip, and I do see that there is yolk leaking out. I do see a few cracks in the egg, but nothing too big. The yolk is just kind of slowly leaking out. So I think I'm going to add one extra layer protection, and that will be my tweak. And then I'll try the same experiment again, but this time with a new fresh egg. I have some more foam, this time in a different color so we can distinguish it. I'm going to be cutting them into an appropriate size. And I'm just going to be sticking them on to the helmet. And this foam is pretty thick. So I'm just going to be sticking another piece on here, and that will be one layer. Alright, so I have the extra layer added on. Now what I'm going to do is do the same thing, put an egg in a Ziploc bag and tape it in, and then I'll film the actual dropping it down. I've done the exact same thing as last time, except the only difference is that it now has that extra layer of padding on the bottom. I've taped it up so that the egg doesn't just fall out. And now I'm going to drop it on the ground from the exact same height. Okay, moment of truth. This is the same height. 3, 2, 1. Did a little flip. One thing I did notice when it falls is that it did do a little flip. I'm not sure if that'll actually contribute to the egg being cracked or not, but we'll see. Just gonna open it up now. Okay, so when I look at it, it doesn't look cracked at all, actually. I think it's still in good shape. Yeah, so it did not crack at all. I can see the yolk inside is probably all mushed up because of it doing that little flip, but it's okay. There are no cracks in the egg, which shows that this extra layer does really do make that difference, because you can see in the last test the egg did break. So that is my testing and my tweak. In advertising, I'll be putting a clip of the egg without the extra layer of padding that I added in the end, and that will represent regular helmets and how they aren't really specifically useful for, you know, shock absorbing and so on. Then I'll put the clip of the egg that did not break, which is the extra layer padding, which is what makes my helmet special. Plus, with my spin POC, I will demonstrate how the egg did not break, and that will represent how children can stay safe and they won't get concussions and other head trauma. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for today.